What's going on, good people? What's going on? What's going on? What's happening?
Hey,
Y'all know what time it is. It's Wind Down Wednesday. We back in the building. We back in place. Um, it's been, let me see. It ain't been a bad week. It's been pretty good, because I don't like complaining about how my week been and how it's going and all that other stuff. But it is what it is. We do what it do. At the end of the day, we up in the building with you all. So thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming back. So in the meantime, in between, y'all see who I'm here with. Y'all see what time it is. I'm sitting here with my girl. Who am I with?
netta,
Netta in the building. Netta
in the
is in the
building,
building.
in
And
the
as you can
building.
see, my girl Shanice, it is basketball season and her daughter plays every Wednesday night. And I get that because y'all know I'm very family oriented, love my family, and I love supporting the kids and all that other good stuff because that's what we do. So she is off tonight with her baby because her baby plays basketball and she's supporting her baby. And that's what we should do when you got kids, because you can't say that you weren't there when you were there. Because I know a lot of times people have a tendency to miss out on their children's extracurricular activities. Sometimes it's by no fault of theirs, and then sometimes it is. So when you got the opportunity to go support your babies, then our recommendation is to go support your babies.
Right.
But at the end of the day, because I did that for years, and I very seldom, if I missed a game, it was because of work. It wasn't because I had to or wanted to or needed to or chose to. It was like I had to miss work because I had to miss the game because I was working. So being in law enforcement, you pretty much, you know, it's kind of hard, especially if you're working second and third shift. You're trying to go see your child play ball. It's very difficult. So but I get it. So she's off tonight watching her baby, but I'm sure at some point in time she will make a comment. She'll chime in and tune in and let us know what she thinks. So how your week been, Netta?
Do you know I have the nerve to feel like I done caught a cold?
Uh, Wait a minute, hold on. 3, 4 weeks ago, you were out and about and down and out because COVID wouldn't leave you alone. Now it's a cold. What is going on?
Well, what happened was my husband, he done caught some type of bug, so he gave it to me this trip. But it's something small. It ain't no big deal. It ain't gonna get me down. Um, my week has been great. I have no complaints. It has been good.
Good.
I'm
Um,
still living. I'm still amongst the land of the living. Yeah, I'm blessed.
and there's nothing else you can say about it, do about it, or anything else that I'm with you. God has been good. My week has been good.
Right.
It's been busy because I am doing stuff around my house, and it's just like driving me insane to get it back piece by piece where I want it or how I want it. So other than that, it's been a busy week. Trying to get some other stuff in my personal life completed and finished before January. I
Hmm.
got friends that are doing things and having things, retirement parties. Had a friend that had a retirement party and went there. Chief Aaron um, retired. So Aaron Tillman out of Woodlawn retired. So happy for him after so many years that he retired. So I've been kind of busy, even during the
Hmm.
week. My thing
That's
is I don't
good.
wait for the weekend. I do not wait for the weekend to do whatever I need to do and however I need to do it because if I'm going to do it, I'm gonna do it during the week. There's no need
Facts.
to wait. But other than
Right.
that, um, my week has been good, and I know what you're saying because that cold thing tried to hit me, but I
Hmm.
fought that booger off. I refuse to. I can't be sick. I'm not the one to get sick
Facts.
because I
Me
do.
neither.
I take my vitamins, but see the difference between me and you. You got yours because you were slobbering and kissing out on your man, but I get it. That's
Facts.
okay. And he passed some germs out for you. but I'm working around those kids, and if
Yeah.
they got a runny nose and a snotty nose or whatever, they have a tendency to, and then they want to touch you and everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
but other than that, I'm good. It didn't get me down. It's just I think it's the weather too. The weather
Yeah.
changed. And it's crazy how it's going back and forth with
Mm-hmm.
it's like spring in December.
Right.
So it's like, what do you do?
Right.
You got to keep going through it. So I mean, but I'm not complaining. I'd rather have this weather than the snow,
Facts.
or ice. So I'm good with that. So other than that, life is good. God is good. The family is good. Had a celebration over the weekend with my good friend Herman, aka Max, turned 60, a milestone. So if you got time and you um, celebrate it, and celebrate with those that you love, and those that you care about as much
Mm-hmm.
as you can when you can. Because I believe in it. I believe in doing that. So at the end of the day, my time has been busy, 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 busy. Um, I can stand up and sleep. That's how busy I've been. And
Mm-hmm.
I never. It appears that I never get like
Rest.
tired, but
Right.
I can stand up and sleep. So if I can stand up and sleep, I've been busy. But in the meantime, between time, let's get down to the nitty gritty of the conversation tonight, because I really think it's a hot, hot topic.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all know how we are. Um, we get these topics from people, and they give them to us, and we discuss them, and we come up with some of them because it's our own personal experience. So talking to someone today, they had a conversation with someone, and their conversation was about men and women being in relationships. So if you are in a relationship with someone, does it matter? And I'm gonna say it like this: does it matter how many bodies they have sexually before you get involved with them in a relationship? Two, is it any of their business? Because at the end of the day, do you really believe them if they're gonna tell you the truth? So when a man asks a woman and a woman asks a man, if a woman has more bodies sexually, does that turn a man off? Does he not? I don't care how fine she is. She could be making all kind of cash dollars. Does that turn him off? Will that turn him off from having a relationship with her if if she has bodies on her? Um, and vice versa. As a woman, if a man has screwed around with several women and he got so many bodies on him sexually, we talking about now you done had sex with all these people, and now you're trying to get in a relationship with somebody else, and you ask that question. You ask, how many people have you had sex with? If they say they don't know, what you gonna do?
Mm.
Um, if they say, oh, about 50 or 100, would it matter? Does it matter more to men, or does it matter more to women? What's up, Castellanos Tulane Williams, aka
Hello.
Pico from Samson Enterprise, Dothan, Alabama? Thanks for tuning
Welcome.
in. My cousin said, no, it does not matter. Um, Here's my thing. My cousin also said it's about how many kids and diseases. Well, this is the thing. This is the thing, Pico. Before we get all down into it, because I know Netta got something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, Pico. My thing is this. Will they be honest? Let's go back to that question there. Will they be honest with telling you that? Because sometimes that's personal. People are not going to get into their personal business and tell you if they've slept with 100 people. Let's look at Wilt Chamberlain. He said he slept with so many women. He wrote a book about all the women, most of them. Look at Magic Johnson. He slept with so many women, he got AIDS, HIV. He didn't have the AIDS, but he had the disease. So are they really going to be honest and tell you the truth? And if they can't tell you, and if they say they don't know, does it matter? Would it matter for you to be in a relationship? What you think, Netta?
Well, for me, it doesn't matter. That's part of my past, and part of my past is history. What goes on in my past stays in my past. Um, Although I don't have a big number, it's still part of my past. So I can't understand that conversation being, if it was just one other person. I can't understand that conversation being quite positive for going forward. So no, I would not have that conversation at all. You know, I don't care how many you had, and I hope that you don't care how many that I had, because that's not a conversation we're gonna have.
Um, Here's my thing. First of all, why would it matter if you like that person? Let me say
Fact.
that. If you really like that person, um, because I was in a relationship, and the that came up. The conversation about sex came up. And the thing about what they said at the time was they were used to, I'm not, you can't just come and have sex with me. First of all, let me say that. You're not just gonna come and have sex with me after we'd been hanging out for 3 months, or maybe even 6 months. And I could be as horny as I'll get out. That don't mean that we gonna have sex. That don't mean I'm gonna give up the draws to you because I think you fine and you sexy, and I just feel my body just feel like it's just bursting and it want to give it to you. I'm not that kind to just give up the booty that much or that quick. Let me say not that much, but not that quick. So my question is that when we talked about the sex thing, they told me they were used to meeting women and pretty much having sex with them immediately, shortly after they meet. They don't wait to have sex with someone. They have it pretty much right away. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not that kind. So we get into a relationship, but something happened with us. You ain't gonna get the booty from me in 2 or 3 months. It just, and I don't believe in that 30, 60, 90 days. Do I believe in love at first sight? Yes. I also believe in making sure that you know that that's the person that you want to lay down with before you lay down with them too, because you don't know who they've been with and who they haven't been with. Because at some point in time, you ain't gonna be using no condom. You're gonna come straight out the
Right.
and it's gonna happen.
Right.
I don't feel there'll be that when you ask the person that question that they'll be honest with you. I just don't feel that. And you do have to be careful. Thanks, Cole. You do have to be careful with the diseases that that there's a possibility that you may contract. So is that a question that you would pose to someone if you're trying to be in a relationship with them anyway?
Mm-mm.
So when will you talk about it? When will you bring up, because sex gonna come up at some point, and you gonna want to have it at some point if you're trying to get to know somebody. If you want to be in a relationship with somebody, it's gonna come up. So what you gonna do? Are you not gonna talk about it? Or are you gonna talk about it? So the person that posed the question for us to talk about tonight, they said it's none of the individual's business. The female said it was none of the male's business how many bodies she slept with. Once again, like Netta said, the past is the past. So what's the point in bringing up something in the past if you don't want to talk about it? Because my thing at the end of the day, how you know you're gonna be with that individual in the first place? So what if you have sex with them in the first 2 or 3 months? Then what? What's gonna happen after that? You have
Hmm.
sex with them in 2 or 3 months. What's gonna happen? What if it ain't good?
Right.
What happens if it ain't good? Then you're gonna
You
be disappointed. Do you stay with a person because they got good sex or bad sex? Do you stay with them because it's money, loyalty, personality, how they look, or the size of the boat? What I want to know.
me personally, I don't care about the size per se. I mean, I don't want to be molesting nobody either, but I don't really like no super big stuff either. So keep me mellow on the medium side, and I'm all to the good, as long as you know how to, do what you're supposed to do with it. But I do think a lot of men get kind of arrogant for who they are, and so they just, sex you any kind of way, and then, think that everything is all good because they who they are. And for me, and 'cause I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
your status don't really is not big for me. It's big for you. So it's not doing me no justice. So come with it. Come with it. But I'm married now, so I don't have to worry about those issues. But yeah, a lot of men are very arrogant to me. And I don't get into the arrogant thing.
So, has a man ever asked you that question when you were dating? How many
I'm
men?
sure. I'm sure. And I
Uh,
gave him what I gave you. Don't worry about that. That ain't no conversation for us to talk about.
and what if you really like him and it's like he can't get past that point, and then at some point in time you tell him, well, I slept with so many blah 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 blah, and then you see the change in him, and then all of a
Fact.
sudden it's because he found out, or because let's just be honest, people, you can be friends with people and people will swear up and down that you slept with them,
Hmm.
um, and not knowing that you haven't. Because I have several friends. I mean, I have several, especially several male friends that I know ain't nothing ever happened. The one thing that I do like is that when I hang out with them or hang out with them and their wives, that I'll never be accused of trying to get my holler on with somebody else's boo. That's not what I do. I
Fact.
don't step into nobody else's arena. So you can't put me in that position or in that place where just because I was around you, or we hung out, that I slept with you. That's why
Hmm.
I like sleep. That's why I like hanging out with grown people, people that know better, think better, and do better. Um, I don't care if you're. This is me. I don't care if you're not married or got a girlfriend or boyfriend or anything like that. I don't interfere in nobody else's relationship because I don't want the drama. I mean, I just don't. Because if more than likely, if you're in a relationship, heck, you sleeping with them. Now you want to try to get your holler on with me, which means at some point you think you want to sleep with me, or you
Hmm.
think you're gonna sleep with me. So at the end of the day, it matters to me. It matters to me. It matters to me how many people you done put, how many women that you done put your little dangling in. And I never know the answer to the question because I don't feel like you'll be honest. What's going on, AJ? Thanks for tuning in. Um, and everybody can't answer this question. But AJ, if you can answer this question, answer the question. It does it matter or does it not matter? That's my whole thing. I mean, I can't do it. I just can't. I don't, because there's a lot of things that I like to do. And I don't want to be doing it if I know you're gonna slept with multiple people. I'm just saying.
Hmm.
There's more than one way to catch a disease.
Right.
So, and I'm not trying to have it. So it's a when you are old, and I'm old, when you're older, it is hard to say whether you how many you have and haven't. I mean, for some it is because you go back from when you were a teenager or high school. You can't count. How many you gonna count?
Hmm.
How many you gonna count? AJ. Yes, I would be concerned. Okay, being concerned and being in a relationship with them is a difference. Would you be in a relationship with somebody if they had would you be in a relationship with somebody because of the number of their sexual partners they had? Because I don't think they'll be um honest. Just because when you get to the certain age, you become older and wiser. What did my brother TD say about that question? How does he feel? Because he a man.
Babe, you
Because
want to get in the conversation?
just ask him the question about. I know he ain't
So
gonna
let me ask you a question.
from a male's perspective.
He told me to stop talking about it. Babe, can I ask you a question? Sandy told me to ask you. What do you feel about when you was dating, being concerned about how many bodies the woman had on her? He said he wasn't, he didn't care.
So it didn't matter to him.
So what about if you wanted to commit to that person? Would it matter? He said no, everybody has a past.
So what if the woman had multiple? I mean, would it matter to him if that female had a whole lot of men that she done slept with? Would it matter?
So he said it probably wouldn't matter the number, but it would matter the person. So a certain person, if he found out it was a certain person that she slept with, he'd be cool.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Which makes a difference because you and I know, and I think we talked about this before with you, that the accusations that was made by a family member accusing you of something that didn't happen.
Facts.
Um, my thing too
He back.
is
Wait a minute, he back. What'd you say back? He said he didn't say that the number didn't matter. Because if it was a skunk back, that's all she gonna be to him. All he wants is the panties.
mm, and most men,
He
my
said he just
personal,
want to see what all the hoopla about. Because
my
she has so
personal,
many.
that's it. You know, that's my personal thought too. Um, because men will do things just because the they throw it at them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if they throw it at them and they take it, then that's it. You know, that's pretty much. I'm just here for the booty. But once again, like he just said, sometimes it's a lot of talk and a lot of conversation about, oh, it was, you know, she the bomb, she got this and she got that, you know, or she give good head. So you trying to go see. And see,
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing. You putting your dang-a-lang inside somebody, and then you're gonna turn around and put your mouth on it. Come on, make it make sense to me.
Right, you'll wear rubber, but then you'll eat it.
Yeah,
That just don't make sense.
make that make sense to me because it don't make sense. And then it means if you did it that way one time, then you would do it again.
Facts.
You know. So does it matter to me? Absolutely. Will they ever be honest? I don't think so. I can't see them being I can't see women or men being wholeheartedly honest about how many they slept with, unless you are a person that's true to who you are and honest and straight up to the point, and you'll tell them if
And
they
it
ask.
is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm gonna tell you now. I can count on my hand. One thing I just never believed in because I was raised that way. Not saying it didn't happen around me, but I just could not come to just sleeping with a lot of people, a lot of men that even if I met them and they like me, I can count them. I'm telling you, I'm 57 years old and I can still name who they are. And I'm telling you, it ain't even 10. It ain't 10 out of 57 years old. I can tell you that. And am I
Mm-hmm.
proud to say that? Absolutely. Because I
Mm-hmm.
just did not, and I don't believe in doing that. Now I'll sit around and wait, and I don't care how hot I get or what somebody asks me that, what do you do? I don't think about it. If I can help it, I don't think about it. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
try to stick because if I ain't thinking about it, then I ain't trying to do it.
Right.
So I'm good with it. You know, ain't no kissing and slobbering on me and none of that stuff either. So I ain't got to worry about trying to be all hot and bothered.
Right. Right.
You know, somebody that told me not too long ago, they was like, what did you do? And they was like, no, I said, why would you do that? They was like, because I got all hot and bothered. Well, make that make sense. That don't make no sense to me. You got all hot and bothered, so you felt the need that you had to sleep with that person. That don't make sense. You can be hot and bothered and still not sleep with them. That's
You
all I'm.
think? I mean, I think for a lot of women, I mean, I ain't gonna say a lot, but I do know some women that is more hornier than a man, and so that person, it's not me, but that person will probably get hot and bothered and go ahead and give it up to
I
me.
agree. I
So
totally agree. And that's my whole thing. Dang, I missed that thing. Um, but it's easy though. It's easy for them. I mean, that's
yeah,
nothing. That means if they do that, then they've done it. They'll keep doing it. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
It's no big deal to them. Then it's no big deal to them to sleep with somebody at the drop of a dime. It's just no big deal to them. They'll
right.
do it. They will do it. So I'm like, I'm good. I'm good on you. I'm so positively good on you because I don't want to be with nobody that's been slept with 1,000 women. I just
Hmm.
don't. Because I look at Nick Cannon. Look at Nick Cannon. He got 11 kids, 11 children. Who would want to sleep with him because he had all these babies from these women? That means he's going in them raw. He's having sex with all these women with no protection on and consistently having babies. Now, the other question is, what's going on, Carolyn? Thanks for tuning in. The
Hello.
the other question is, who's going having tests done?
Right.
Would you require somebody to have a test? Have you ever required a man to have a test?
I have not. I have not. But I also have waited. I don't just jump right in. Like I'm never did a one night stand type situation. So I try my best to get to know a person and come up with some type of trust for that person
Right.
before sleeping with that person.
Um, the last relationship I was in, one of the things that I asked the question was, could you go somewhere overnight with somebody and stay in a room with them and not have sex?
I can. Oh, I
Oh, I
could.
can. I can. You
Hmm.
know, and their question to me was, yeah, they can. Um, and they did, but they also added, if I wanted to, I could have. Well, not with me, you couldn't have.
Right.
Because you don't know me like that. You don't know me
Right.
very well.
Don't you hate that? Right. No, you couldn't. No, me, no. No.
Right. And because let's get back to what you said. The arrogance,
Hmm.
because you think you can and you think you might look good, and you think you got it going on. So you think you just gonna go in a room with me and we just gonna wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and I don't know you like that. No,
Hmm.
that's not gonna happen. And it didn't happen.
Hmm.
But that's one of my questions that I ask when I meet people or when I'm trying to do whatever and going to the next step or level or whatever. At the age that I am now, it's like, can you spend the night with me and not have sex? And I'm not walking around the room trying to tempt you and all that other stuff because I don't
Right.
feel like I have to do that because you're in a room with somebody. You're in the room
Right.
with a man or a woman by yourself. You know, that's one of my questions. So I've asked that question to several people, um, two in particular that were trying to um, get their holla on, and one I actually went and slept in the hotel room with them, and nothing happened. And the other one, it just never happened. But that's why I always get two beds too. Sleep in your bed,
Hmm.
I sleep in mine, and then we go from there. So I don't know, because I asked I look at what's her name, Nia Long, 13 years of being with her fiance, 13 of being engaged to him. 13 years. And then look what caused them to break up. Because he had an affair with somebody he was working with while he was coaching the Boston Celtics. So the question is, had she known he was sleeping around with other people, would she have left him, or did she leave him because it became public knowledge? What you think?
I think Nia Long is a strong woman. Well, at least I hope she is, and I'm just going off of how I feel. But I think she's a strong woman. So I think once she found out, it hurt her, and so men they good at talking. They way back in, and I think that's what kept her for however long she stayed. But I think that she just couldn't take it. Just with the social media and it being out like that, it just she didn't want to look, like a fool or dumb or played or whatever in front of her fans and family and friends and stuff in that nature. So she in the end decided to go ahead and move back home and leave the relationship. So that's what I think. I think that it took some steps before she left, but she just the pain was just too much for her, so she just went ahead and left.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Yeah.
I think she is a strong woman. I mean, because he played professional ball and he coached professional teams. So you can't tell me he was not a bad looking man. So you
Right.
can't tell me that the social media piece and the news media piece and everything that was coming down, and the fact that the woman was a friend, supposed to have been a friend, well, maybe not been a friend, but his friend that was assisting him with stuff for both of them. And then,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so at what point? See, that's another whole thing. Women just do not these days. We talked about it. You and I and Trina talked about it earlier. Women, first of all, don't care. Second of all, weak men like weak women.
Mm-hmm.
If she's weak, this is us people. We talking about it. If she's weak, he'll accept her because he can't handle a strong woman.
Right.
And
But
that's
we
going
also said that causes us to know that he's a weak man himself. A lot of men put on that facade like they so, tough and this and that and the third. But at the end of the day, when you cheat on your woman and then get caught, and in the end you choose the weaker link, that's because you just as weak and you couldn't handle that strong woman. And that strong woman know how to move forward without letting nobody see her crack. Even if she do crack, she crack behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying?
right.
She don't let nobody see that. And he can't handle that. So he choose the weaker link. Because he a weak link himself.
So
Because he gotta be a weak link to even cheat in the beginning.
exactly. So do you think that weak recognizes weak?
Facts.
Good
Facts.
one. Good one. And I mean I agree. I agree. But then I was told too by someone, when you can cheat, you cheat. When men can cheat, they will cheat. I was also told by a man, these are all from men though. Check this out. These are from men. I was also told that sometimes all it is just a booty call, and that's all they want is just a booty call, and that's the only thing they gonna go get is a booty call, because what they got at home, they gonna keep her because they don't want to be with the one that's just a booty call, because that's all
But
she is a booty
but
call.
we do know saying that majority of the time, or okay, I would say half, or okay, some of the time that man fall weak for that one he cheated with. You feel me? And he continue and start liking her more and more and more. And then he caught up into this triangle. And then the woman ended up finding out. See, if he was really like just want to cheat and get it over with, he'll cheat and then move on. But he cheat and stay. Come on now, some feelings gonna be involved at some point. At some point, some feelings gonna get involved.
Agreed. Agreed. Because you can't keep seeing somebody and you don't have feelings for that individual. You can't. I'm sorry, you can't. there is no way that Nia Long's fiance kept sleeping with this woman and ended up loved Nia because they got a kid together, loved her. You can't tell me that he didn't start having feelings for the girl that he was sleeping with. Because
Facts.
at some point, something made him start having feelings for her. Now, I don't know. There is a difference. I keep telling people all the time, there's a difference between loving somebody, having love, and being in love. There is a whole totally difference.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's going on, Ryan Lay? I missed you, man. What's going on?
Hey.
Thanks for tuning in. Hey, what's going on? Exactly. He can get somewhere with all that. What's up, cousin? Checking in from the East Coast. But I'm with you too. I mean, at some point, I'm like you, Bruley. He can get to stepping. He can get going with that. But they want their cake, ice cream, and the whole party.
Mm-hmm. They do. And that's that greed part. That's that greedy part.
And arrogance.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
And you know, a lot of men, to me, they play on what they think the woman is weakness. You know, they play on that, and in the end, it don't be so much what they thought. You know, because that woman build that strength to go ahead and leave. Like, nah, this what you ain't gonna do is cheat. I can take a lot of things, but I can't take cheating. You know what I'm saying? So,
right,
man, you gotta watch out. Y'all some bums out here in these streets.
It's a different story when the woman cheats. Let me tell you something. It is
for sure.
I believe that, Bruley. It's a totally different story when a woman cheats, because at the end of the day, no man, here's me. This is my opinion. This is how I feel. No man wants a woman who cheated on him first. He don't want her back, because now he feels like she's been used. You know, she's been used by somebody else and stuck they, wang all in her. And so he don't want her back. So because I asked that question, and I say it often. I don't say it a lot, but I will say it. If I had a baby, got pregnant by somebody else with my ex, there's no freaking way he would have stayed. He would have came back. He would have looked at me 3, 4, 10 times, because it wouldn't have happened.
Right.
He would have been so devastated because somebody else didn't got what he thought was his.
Right.
Because when women do it, they become sluts and whores. But when men do it, hey,
they get a pat on their back.
I'm just being a man. It's what we do. It's what we do. No, it ain't what you do. Right. It's what you think you do, because you don't care about nothing else in between that. And people get on my nerves when they say, well, I didn't care in the first place. No, you're lying.
Mm-hmm.
You're lying, because you did care. Because had you not cared, you wouldn't have kept sleeping with that other person and then going back and trying to be with your mate or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whomever. You can't, you wouldn't have been trying to do both if you didn't care. Something made Nia Long's fiance continue to go back with that girl. Something made it happen. Somehow, some way. And it's easy for women. Here's the thing. Women can stroke a man's ego. A woman can say something to a man that his wife is not saying, his fiance is not saying, his girlfriend is not saying. So the other woman is going to make him feel important, where he feels like he's not that important with his girl, his main squeeze. That side piece is gonna make him feel real important, so she can get what she wants. Bruley said true, but they want the woman to keep him. Absolutely. But she said, because society makes it okay for that man. They do. They make it okay for the man all the time. And it's easier for them. But I'm telling you, don't bring that dangling back to me after you done stuck it in somebody else. And then I sit up there and ask you, and you tell me, "No, we ain't had sex," and then I already know you did. As you say, Bruley, boy, bye. Mm-hmm. But I look at also the man on, what's that? The TV people, the ones that's on the Good Morning America or somebody. They did the same thing. Both of them were married, and talking about they broke up with their mates in August, so they hooked up last month.
Mm.
That ain't who believe that. But you done had a relations with another woman prior to that for 3 years in the same sector, and then you having with another woman, and you talking about you and your husband or wife broke up in August. Make it make sense. Men, I ain't bashing men or anything like that. Sometimes they think they can do whatever they want to. I'm going back to what you said. It's that arrogance in them. It's that ego thing. Because
Mm-hmm.
when the man told me he can do it because he can, he cheated because he can. What is that saying?
Right, right. And you
And
know what I hate when about a man when they cheat? I hate when they come back and say either you wasn't doing something at home or what did you do to cause me to cheat? Nothing. If I was this horrible person, one, why are you with me? Two, if you don't want me anymore, you get out of the relationship first. And then you go do what you that's what grown people supposed to do. I don't care how much it hurt the person, you get out of that. And then you move forward. You
right,
don't move forward and then you blame that person for what they ain't doing.
make it make sense. And
Make it
then,
make sense. But a lot of women fall for that.
oh,
A lot
absolutely.
of women fall for that.
And then not only that, you accuse them, you make them feel like they're the guilty ones, and they're
Hmm.
the ones that are at fault. And then you make excuses. But then too, you're not being true. You're not being forthcoming. You're not being honest, because you want the cake, the ice cream, and the party.
Hmm.
So you're misleading your main squeeze or the main person so you can go over here and be with this other one. That's the weak link, as we say.
Right, right.
So, when you gonna keep your penis in your pants?
Right, just be a man. Just be a man. And stop.
And
Stop.
and and the thing about it is, okay, I could see um Ryan. I bet you do want some ice cream, Ryan. I bet you do. Um, the other thing is that we're too old. At some
Facts.
point, you're too old for that. I was told that there was a website where you can go and sign up and you can have sex with men and women anytime you want to, as long as you got the money. If you got the
Mm.
money, you pay them. They have sex with you. They go away. I mean, and you can do it as often as you like. I'm sorry, I can't do that. With a condom or without a condom, who would want to do that? Who would want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. But social media, um, these dating scenes, and all this other stuff that's online. Fine and dandy. Last person I was in a relationship with, that's where I met them at. Some people are successful with it. I won't do it again though. If I can't meet you in
Right.
the grocery store, here go Carolyn. That is prostitution. Pico, you better not do it. But Carolyn, I agree with you. That is prostitution. But there is a website. There is definitely a website where you can go on, sign up, and I don't know how private it is. It can't be that private because I got wind of it. Somebody told me about it. I agree. It's prostitution, but how you gonna get caught if you got women and men coming from all over the place and they're a piece of this, they're part of this website. I mean, you paying for coochie. You paying for dangling.
Right.
I mean, we pay for it anyway in different ways. Emotions, feelings, happiness, sadness, the ooh we pay for all of that. So
Hmm.
it is prostitution. I agree. And I do. It's nasty as heck. Yes, Brulee. I say no way because I'm not paying money to be sexually involved with somebody, and that's all it is. But I can log in and sign up and I can do that anytime. But when you get a certain age, there's some things in life that you should just like deuces. You know, why you want to keep
I
doing
agree.
it? Why you want to keep
Yeah, I
doing it?
agree.
Because at some point in time, you're gonna need somebody to take care of you. You're gonna need somebody to help you with certain things, and somebody that you just screwing on a weekly basis or a daily basis or a weekend basis or once a month. When you can't do nothing for them, guess what they're gonna do? Walk out. And you're gonna be taking that Viagra and whatever else you need to try to keep that thing up.
Hmm.
But shit, ain't nobody gonna want it because you can't do nothing for them.
Right.
You
Right.
money can buy you love, I guess. But what kind of love?
Right. Is it real?
That's a good question. But
Hmm.
what makes it real? What makes it real? Is sex always a part of is sex a part of it? Carolyn says another word for that is called online dating escorting. Yes, it is. Um, it's a trick. Yes, it is a trick. But they say money can buy you love or money can't buy you love. Which one is it? Because money,
If you asking me, I think it depends on the person. I mean, I think money not necessarily can buy you love, but I think what they do with the money can make you feel love. If my husband go out here and buy me a car, I'ma definitely feel love. You know, um, but money also, I'm a firm believer in money is the root of all evil.
oh yes,
And
for the love of
when you
money.
obsessed with money and you this and that, get away from me because money ain't that serious for me. I work every day, so money gonna come my way. Period.
Right,
Because I work hard for it. But
right,
that's it. We not going overboard. I don't have no panic attacks when I'm broke and all this other stuff. I'm cool. You know what
right,
I'm saying? So, and that's who I want to be with. Somebody that's okay with either having it and not having it. Money don't change your personality of who you are
right.
when you don't have it and or when you do have it.
But for some it does. Some people that's how they live. That's what they thrive on. How much money I'm making. So if I'm
Mhm.
making the money, then I can pay for her or I can pay for him or I can
Mhm.
buy this for her and I can buy this for him, and it's gonna be fine. They're not
Mhm.
going anywhere as long as I'm putting money in, pouring money into them. And they may not mean nothing to them, but I know I got you if I'm paying. If I'm
Right.
doing this, that, because you ain't going nowhere if I'm paying money to keep you. You ain't going nowhere.
Mhm.
But I'm like you. I work hard for my stuff. I have worked
Right.
hard. I'm still working hard for it. I handouts. I'm not saying that it's a handout, but let's go back again. That's that weak link. That's the needy.
Mhm.
That's the
Mhm.
that's the weak and the needy.
Mhm.
I need you to pay. I need you to pay. I need this. Well, I can't pay for my sink to be fixed, or I can't pay for my car to be fixed. Can you do it for me? So it's ways to keep them. Money can buy you only sex, no emotions, not emotions. Your emotions was a weakness used to get what they wanted. Totally agree, Carolyn. Bruley said you can have all the money, cars, houses, and be alone, and you can be lonely. You can be lonely because if you're not happy with all that money and you're paying for whatever it is that you want, material things are good for some, but when it stops, reality hits. You are lonely and sad. Totally agree. Money can buy you stuff, but it can't buy you happiness.
Mhm.
Only you,
Mhm.
yourself, can buy you happiness. The happiness that
Right.
you're looking for, the happiness that you think you deserve.
Mhm.
It's the only thing that money can buy you because it can't buy you nothing else. It's like, it is what it is. But once again, that man wants that woman to need and want him desperately bad because it's something that he missed out on at some point when he was growing up.
Right.
The way I see it. And then you say you can't love or you don't know how to love, you don't know what love is. Well, when you gonna find out? But you're gonna try to pay for it as much as you can, you know, which means if you're paying for it, the number of sex partners, it should matter. That's the way I see it. My take on it.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that sometimes men and maybe women too use their past as an excuse for
Oh yeah.
certain
Oh,
things?
I believe that. I
Yeah.
believe. I believe until you have. Carolyn says women have to learn the difference in being alone and being lonely. True. True. Um, and being loved compared to being used. I do. Um, ask that question again.
Do you think that people, I'm just gonna say people, use their past as an excuse?
I do. I do think it. I think men and women do that.
Hmm.
But until you're the one to let it go and move forward, then it's gonna always haunt you. You know, you might not ever be able to be the complete person that you want to be because you're holding on to the past. Once again, what you said earlier, the past is my past. Regardless of how many people I've slept with, if you asking me, and if I say 50, you don't want to talk to me or you don't want to be in a relationship with me because I got 50 past partners, my past relationship has now come back to haunt me with somebody that I care about or somebody that I
Hmm.
wanted to, be involved with. But people hold on to that. That means that person is holding on to my past, the things that I've done in my past, and they won't allow themselves to move to the future with me. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I held on to my past. I held on to my past hurt. I held on to my past disappointments, my past shame. I held on to a lot of that for years. I hated folks. I really, that's a bad word. My grandma told me never use it, but it was until I realized that I needed to release it myself. Nobody could do that for me. I had to do it for myself. Then my past no longer comes back to haunt me because it's just what it is. It's my past. If that individual wants to talk about my past, I'm all for it. Being lonely is what get women caught up in bad relationships. Exactly. Because my thing is, if they show you who they are, somebody always told me, believe it.
Believe, believe the
Believe it.
person.
Because if it happened once, it'll happen again. And at the
Hmm.
end of the day, you're gonna be in a fake relationship.
Facts.
They can tell you everything that happened to them from the time they was little to the time they're the age that they are now. All the
Right.
bad relationships they were in, all the good ones they were in, until they come to the conclusion to release it and release it for on their own. They got to do it for themselves. You can't do it for me, and I can't do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. Until you do
Right.
that, hey, it is what it is. You're gonna remain the person that you are. You can't be in something. This is my take. This is my own feeling. You can't be in a relationship until you've overcome all the trauma, because that's what it is. It's trauma.
Hmm.
And I think at some point we've all been through some kind of trauma, but until we release it and let it go, it's gonna be there to haunt us. My thing is,
Hmm.
I'd rather release my trauma and my hurt and my pain with somebody that wants to be in a relationship with me. That's what I want to do because I think it's gonna help us both move forward.
Hmm.
So, but thank God I have overcome my whatever you want to call it, because God is good. But I had to do it for myself. I
Yeah.
mean, really, I had to do it for myself. There is no freaking way I could be in a relationship currently and not have released and let go of my past. Ain't no way. There is no
Hmm.
way. I was horrible. I was mean. Never saw a mean side of me.
Mm.
Trying not to let that side, be trying to keep her in, trying to
Mm.
hold her back, but
Yeah. Hold her in, Nancy. Hold her in.
sometimes, yes, Carolyn, insecurities, because you're insecure about who you are and what you are. Um, and if you don't know who and what you are, then that's another issue. You got to be true to you. and you got to continue to maintain who you are. Don't try to make it and fake you somebody else. Don't do that. That's the problem. Houston, that's where the problem lies. You are who you are. What you see with me is what you get. But Netta didn't know that side. She didn't know that there was a side of me that was like, oh, wee, oh, wee. And I try to keep that side tucked in because that's not a pretty side, which was a part of my trauma. Just saying. Just saying. So until you recognize it and release it, and we had a discussion, so she understands.
Hmm.
She didn't then though.
We kissed and made up, y'all.
Yeah, she didn't then. But I was brutal. Not meaning to be, but it's a trigger. Something always triggers somebody, and we all have triggers. We all have triggers in life, and I mean, at the end of the day, we have triggers. So don't let it trigger you to go and sleep with several people when you're already in something because you say you can't.
Facts.
Don't let it trigger you to mess up something good because you over here wanting to go with the weak one and that you added to your list of another sexual partner.
Right, right.
Don't let the money become a part of what you're trying to do and you lost what you had because of trauma and money. What's up, Taj? What's up? We have to let go of trauma and get ourselves right before we get into a relationship so we can be right for the other. I totally agree. What's up, Asha? Thanks for tuning
What
in.
up, T?
Thanks for tuning in. But you got to let go of your trauma in order for you to move forward with somebody because there's no way. You know what? And then let's just keep it 100. Clues are there. There are signs there. And sometimes the unfortunate piece as women, and I'm going to speak for myself, we have a tendency of not wanting to see them because
Absolutely.
there are times we see the good in a person before they see the good in themselves because there's a good person in there. But at this point in time, that person ain't good until they release themselves and relieve the trauma for themselves and not because they want to be with hey, see what I'm saying? I know you do. Until you want to do it for yourself, then you ain't gonna be in no safe relationship. You ain't gonna be in nothing. You're gonna get married, and then you're gonna be married again, and it's gonna be like I should have waited. Because you got to go through that by yourself. I do know that for a fact. You got to go through your stuff by yourself. You can't, Netta, you can't go with me. Unless you're a part of my trauma, you can't go with me. Unless I ask you to go. But at the end of the day, I got to go by myself because I need to release the trauma for myself by myself first before I bring you into what I'm trying to let go.
Absolutely.
So, people, at the end of the day, you can ask the question, how many people have you slept with? And if you don't like that number, then that's all on you to say, hasta la vista, can't do you. I don't want to do you. I want to do you because you're fine as heck, but I don't want to do you.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to let that booger go. So y'all know what time it is. You know where we at. You know where we've been. You know where we going. It's that time of day. We're getting ready to cut loose up out of here. But do some homework. Take care of yourself. But it is time that we leave you with some positive thoughts. What you got for the people, Netta?
My positive quote is know your worth. Don't allow a bum to swindle you out of them pennies.
And just because you are sweet, stay sweet.
Facts.
Don't let the sweet talk fool you and ease you up out of them panties.
Panties.
So at the end of the day, positive in, positive out. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Don't get caught up. So it always is better to give
Yeah. Then
than
to
it is
receive.
to receive. And we will holler back at you next week. It's right before Christmas. Take care of yourselves. Be healthy. Be blessed. And be well. We will holler back
Right.
at y'all. Later. Love you.
Bye.